What's up, Soul Family and everyone out there in the world? This is Nihility to Tarot, and this is going to be a Mercury in Cancer reading for the Collective+All Signs. Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so not everything that you're about to hear may resonate to your situation. If it doesn't, take what does resonate and leave the rest. Now, for the All Signs portion of the reading, I will have timestamps down below, but first, we're going to talk about what Mercury in Cancer is going to be about. Now, if you're part of Soul Fam, we all know Mercury is about thinking and communicating, as well as dealing with technology. And if you aren't part of the Soul Fam and you're new, then now you know. Mercury is about thinking and communicating and technology, and is ruled by Gemini as the masculine side and Virgo as the feminine side. Gemini is mutable air, being mutable and adaptable to its own and other people's ways of thinking and communicating, and Virgo is mutable mutable and adaptable to its own and other ways of thinking and being practical. So, like I just said, one is masculine, aka Gemini, and one is feminine, aka Virgo. Masculine means external, and feminine means internal. Now, with Mercury going into Cancer, and Cancer being caught in the water, initiating and creating new ways of feeling the emotions, and Cancer was born out of the 4th house of home, private life, and close ones and family. This is going to put all of our thoughts and communication towards initiating new ways of feeling the emotions, aka Cancer. So don't be surprised if you start thinking about new ways of creating emotions and communicating about them. And don't be surprised in whatever house that you have Cancer in. For example, I have Cancer in the 3rd and 4th house. So all my thinking and communication is going to be about initiating new ways of feeling the emotions when it comes to my surroundings and my home, private, family life. So, even though I may not be wanting to do these readings at the moment, I know that it is for my best good and for the best betterment of my higher self that I do. And you can correlate that with the house that you have Cancer in and go from there. Now I'm going to shuffle this 3 more times, and I will pull 9 cards plus an overall out of the Celtic tarot deck, and then I will clarify it with the Rider-Waite deck, and then pull 3 cards out from the Moonology Oracle deck. Now, Mercury isn't in Cancer fully just yet, but it's at 28 degrees Gemini, so we're just barely starting the cusp. It will go fully into Cancer by I want to say the 11th or the 12th, or maybe even the 13th of July. Now, let's shuffle this one more time and we'll get to the reading. Do one more cut and then we will begin. Alright, pouring the overall. Alright, so with Mercury going into Cancer for the overall part of this reading, we get the 7 of Cups. So when Mercury does go into Cancer fully, we are going to have a lot of choices when it comes to initiating new ways of feeling the emotions without thinking and communicating. Do your best to not initiate too many emotions in too many directions and narrow it down to a couple, maybe 2 or 3 main directions that you want to initiate your emotions towards during this time with Mercury going into Cancer. Now, with the first card being the Empress during this Mercury in Cancer transit, we are going to find out that we are the Empress, that we are the motherly figure that people look up to. And since this is a card of fertility, we may even, for some of us, not for all of us, we may have a child if we don't use protection or do what the necessary things in order to protect ourselves from having a child. If you don't want to have a child during this time, make sure that you use protection during this time, because we all will be very fertile. This is a card of Taurus, so if you're dealing with a relationship, you may be dealing with the Taurus. But overall, the card means that we are in this Empress energy, and we have value to bring to the world from our own individuality when Mercury goes into Cancer. Now, with the Tarot card being the next card, the Tarot means that during the Mercury in Cancer transit, that the Tarot will fall. Now, we're not sure what is falling, so this can be a positive card or a negative card. We will have to clarify this when we get to it. The next card that we get is the Five of Wands. So with the Five of Wands, this is saying that we are having minor conflict. We are having minor conflict when Mercury goes into Cancer, but we are going to have the ability to solve this conflict when it comes to Mercury in Cancer, when it comes to the Mercury in Cancer transit and whatever conflict that we are dealing with. Again, I'll clarify that when I get to it. So, your fourth card that you get, or that we all get, really, is the Sun card. So, when Mercury goes fully into Cancer, we're going to find ourselves in a very happy place. We're going to find ourselves in a very happy and abundant place for ourselves, and initiating that happiness amongst others during this Mercury in Cancer transit. Now, with the Four of Pentacles, we may be holding on to things that we need to let go of during this Mercury in Cancer transit. So, make sure that whatever you're holding on to is not derailing you or detouring you from what you want to do and what you're desiring to do, whether it's a relationship, a business, a goal, or aspiration, a private life, a platonic life, whatever it is. There may be some things that you need to let go of. Now, I know it can get hard when us as humans are not wanting to let go of stuff, but this card is saying that we should let go of whatever it is that is not serving us, so we can take off the blindfold and actually pick the flowers that are right next to us, aka go after what we want and desire during this Mercury in Cancer transit. Now, with the next card being the King of Pentacles, this is saying that during this Mercury in Cancer transit, we are going to have everything that we want and need in our lives, alright? So, even though we have everything that we want and need, we may be a little selfish or greedy, or and we can get snappy because it took us a long time to get where we are in this King of Pentacles energy during the Mercury Cancer transit. So, do your best to not be too greedy or selfish, and be a fatherly figure and share your wealth with those that you care about who are supporting you as well during this Mercury in Cancer transit. Now, moving on to the Hierophant, I feel like there is a commitment of some sort when it comes to the Mercury in Cancer transit. So we may be committed to something or someone, person, place, things, circumstances, situation, when it comes to us initiating new ways of feeling the emotions with our thinking and communication. Stay committed, especially if it's for your highest good. Now, with the Four of Cups being here, the Four of Cups is saying that we, instead of looking at what we do have, we're paying attention to this empty cup. Okay? So, particularly on the Wide Awake, 4 of Cups. It's a guy looking down at 3 empty cups with the Ace of Cups in the picture, in the artwork, handing the cup to him, but he's not paying attention to that cup, and instead he's paying attention to the empty ones. Do your best to let go whatever it is that does not serve you for your betterment of your well-being and what's best for your highest self, and pay attention to the cups that you do have, aka pay attention to what you do have in your life at this moment. Now, with the last card being the Justice card, this is saying that we are creating a sense of balance, moderation, and harmony in our lives when Mercury goes into Cancer. Alright, so continue being this balance and moderation and harmony. Or there may even be some legal cases that we need to take care of during this Mercury and Cancer transit, but that's not for all of yours, so don't get scared. But yeah, justice can mean legal problems or stuff that we need to take care of in the legal matters. But whatever it is, regardless if we want to follow those legal matters or not, at the moment we still have to follow them because most of the world is headed to that direction as well. But slowly and surely, we, as a soul group, we can change the world one step at a time. Now, with that being said, bring a sense of balance and harmony and moderation when Mercury goes fully into Cancer for this transit. Now, let's clarify these cards. And we will move forward. Let me shuffle this 3 more times. 1, 2, and 3. Now let's pull the overall clarifying card. So the seven of Cups is clarified by the Knight of Cups. So we have a lot of choices when it comes to where we want to put our emotions towards. We may have a relationship we want to put our emotions towards. We may have a business or goal or aspiration, or a couple of goals and aspirations that we want to put our emotions towards, because it is the 7 of Cups that we are talking about. 7 of Cups can also mean dreams. So we may be wanting to go after our dreams in an emotional way. So whatever it is that we are going towards, make sure that to narrow it down to 2 or 3 main things that you want to put your emotions towards, and you will be okay. Now with the Empress card, the Empress is clarified by the 4 of Swords. So usually this is a resting card, but this can also be a meditation and pondering card as well. So as long as we go within and listen to our intuition and meditate and ponder, we will find out that we are the Empress energy, or are in the Empress energy during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with Tower card, the Tower is clarified by the 5 of Cups. So I feel like this is a past energy. So with the Tower falling and you letting the Tower fall, you can start looking at the cups that you don't have, because we have 4 of Cups as well down in the bottom of this spread, but the 5 of Cups is right after it. So you're mourning about what you have lost, but as long as you let the Tower fall and turn around and recognize that there are 2 cups behind you, you will be in a better place for your own well-being, and a happy and abundant place overall. Because we do have the Sun card here as well. Now with the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Wands is clarified by the 8 of Wands. So by taking action on whatever we need to take action on, we will be able to solve this conflict that we have. Alright? Don't mind the dirty fingernails. I've done everything I can to get rid of them. In South Texas, it's very dirty down here. There's sand and it's been raining, so pretty much nearly impossible to get rid of. But continuing on with the 5 wands, getting clarified by the 8 of wands, take action on whatever it is that you need to take action on during this Mercury and Cancer transit to solve this minor conflict that you have going on for you. Now with the Sun card is clarified by the Queen of Swords. So as long as we stay in our truth, stay self-aware, and stay in our independent energies, and give advice to those who need it without downgrading them or cutting them down, we will find ourselves in a very happy place and full of abundance during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the 4 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. So with the Knight of Pentacles clarifying the 4 of Pentacles, we need to think practical about what it is that we are holding on to. We need to take a practical, methodical, and slow-moving process towards what we want and desire, while letting go of things that we don't need or in our lives that are not serving us for our highest good and a betterment of our own well-being. Okay? So take it slow, release what you need to release, whether it's an old relationship, a past circumstance or situation that's happened to you in the past, whatever it is, let go, let yourself let go of it and move forward in a practical way towards what you want and desire during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now, with the King of Pentacles is clarified by the 2 of Pentacles. So, with the 2 of Pentacles clarifying the King of Pentacles, this is saying that we are juggling choices, whether or not to, and I feel like this may be about a business, because the King of Pentacles is a businessman, but not man as in just male, but man as in masculine energy. Females can play a masculine energy as well. So whatever you're working on, you may be juggling whether or not to continue with this work. If it's serving you for your betterment of your own well-being and your highest good, continue to do the work that you need to do in order to proceed forward. So with the Hierophant gets clarified by the 7 of Swords. So with the 7 of Swords here, we need to watch ourselves from self-deception, as well as deception that we may gain from others' opinions, thoughts, and feelings. Remember that thoughts and feelings are not yours, and that you as a spirit, being no thing, no shape, no form, have the capability and are able to transmute those negative thoughts and feelings into positive thoughts and feelings. Alright? Continue to strive forward, continue to push yourself forward, stay committed to whatever you're committed to, and in doing so, will move you forward into a place that you want to be and where you desire to be when it comes to the Mercury and Cancer transit. Watch out for self-deception. Once again, don't let that detour you from whatever it is that you are committed to. Now with the 4 of Cups, the 4 of Cups is clarified by the King of Pentacles. So we have 2 King of Pentacles here. So I feel like this is really about business and gaining what you want and desire. When it comes to business, take a slow and easy approach, like I said with the Knight of Pentacles. And with the King of Pentacles clarifying the 4 of Cups, by letting go of what it is that is holding us back, we will be able to get to a place that we want and desire in the realms of material happiness and abundance, and having everything that we want and need when it comes to this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the Justice card is clarified by the 2 of Wands. So with the 2 of Wands, we have the whole world in our hands, like the picture is depicted, and we are planning for the future. But in order to plan for the future and moving forward, we need to bring balance, moderation, and harmony in whatever it is that we are doing during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now, let's move on to the Moonology Oracle cards to end this reading off, and then moving on to the All Signs portion of this Mercury and Cancer transit reading. And if the video cuts off, it's because there's not enough space. But if it doesn't, then that would be really good, so I don't have to go and edit and everything. But if it happens, there will be a cut. Remember that timestamps will be down below for this all signs portion of this reading. Now, well, when we get to the all signs portion of this reading. But first, let's pull 3 cards from the Moonology Oracle deck. I'll shuffle this one more time, and let's begin. Alright, so now with the first card from Mother Moon to you through me is Full Moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecasted. So as long as we continue to move forward and leave whatever it is that we need to leave behind that's not serving us for the betterment of our highest good and the betterment of our own well-being, we will be put into a position of a win-win outcome situation when it comes to the Mercury and Cancer transit. Keep in mind that whatever it is that you do, a win-win outcome is for sure forecasted during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now, with the next card that Mother Moon wants to give to you through me is New Moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation. So, like it says, I feel like whatever you are working on, because we have 2 King of Pentacles here in the spread, and I see us very emotionally connected to it, but we have some things that we need to release and ponder and meditate about. But overall, we need to bring love into the situation, which is also emphasized by the Knight of Cups. This card is emphasizing the Knight of Cups, so like the card says, bring love into the situation moving forward in whatever it is that you're working on, or whatever it is, and whoever you are dealing with as a whole. We have strong Taurus energy, and Libra, and Leo, and Scorpio, but I feel like this is really about business and us moving forward with our business during this time. Now, the last card that we get is Full Moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So, as long as we move away from what no longer serves us and stop looking at what we don't have and look at what we do have and take action on solving this minor conflict and continuing to move forward and choosing the best choice for our highest good and the betterment of our own well-being, that an end of a tough cycle will approach in this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now, we are moving on to the all signs portion of this reading. So, let me pick up these cards and we will begin. We will begin with Aries. Give me 1 second to pick up these cards. Keep in mind that this Mercury and Cancer transit will be trining Neptune and Pisces, retrograding, as well as opposite Pluto. So we may be a little scared of transforming our business and status at the moment, or we may feel like we need to run away. Don't do so, because if we continue to be strong and push forward, we will get to a place of happiness and abundance in our lives when it comes to our business and status. Don't run away from it. Be strong and push forward. So, we are going to move on to Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mars for this Mercury and Cancer transit. Aries, you are squaring this energy, so with the way your thinking and communication, you are learning how to not just be in your feelings, but initiate emotions with those feelings that you are in. Alright, so, like I said, Aries is cardinal fire, initiating and creating new ways of feeling the emotions, and feeling and seeing the emotions, not feeling the emotions, but seeing the emotions. You guys are dealing with fire energy, which is passion and motivation. So, and Aries is born out of the first house of self, personal interest and affairs, and your personality as an individual. Let's pull 3 cards out for you for this Mercury in Cancer transit. So your first card that you get is the Hangman. So I have 2 stories here for you. One can be about enlightenment, so you may be enlightened about something or someone when it comes to the Mercury in Cancer transit, or you are in a period of stagnation and doing your best to not let that stagnation get to you. I'll clarify that when we get to it. Moving on to the 6 of Cups. So, with the 6 of Cups, this can either be you sharing with somebody or someone, or putting yourself out in the world emotionally, or this can be about you going in the past and having to really dive into the past. Remember that we have Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all in retrograding. Pluto's in Capricorn, so it's letting us to reevaluate past ways of how we transformed and took power and control of our business status in the past. Saturn's in retrograde in Aquarius, so this is past ways of how we gain security in our with our associations. Jupiter is about to be in Aquarius once again, so but right now it's in 1 degrees Pisces, so this is past ways of how past moral systems and experiences when it comes to the Pisces energy, which is mutable water, being mutable and adaptable to your own and other people's ways of feeling the emotions. And with Neptune in Pisces retrograding, this is going into past ways of dreams and illusions, but make sure that you don't take past illusions and add illusions or create new illusions in the present, as well as but do take past dreams and implement them if it is for the betterment of your own well-being and the highest good in the present day. Now, this can be a card, the 6 of Cups can be a card of the past, so dive into the past if need be and reevaluate whatever it is that you need to reevaluate from the past. Now, from the last card, and yet but definitely not least, is the Fool card. So, with the Fool, this is a new beginning, a new adventure, a new start, whether it's a new start in a relationship, a business, or a new start going after a goal or aspiration, or whatever it is. This is a new start. Just be careful of not being too reckless. Watch your step, because typically in the Rider-Waite deck, you will see the Fool being in his leg being tugged by a dog, and him looking up into the sky and almost falling off the cliff, and the dog is nipping at his leg because to warn him of not falling off the cliff. So watch your step, okay? Watch what moves you go towards. Do your best to be free, yes, but don't be too reckless while being free. Now let's move on to clarifying your cards. So, let's shuffle this out, of course, and we get to Taurus. But we're on Aries right now. So, Aries, the Hanged Man is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. So, with you staying in material sufficiency and independence, this is a card of you having what you need in order to be enlightened about how to move forward during this Mercury in Cancer transit. Alright, so this is a very powerful card. This is a card of once again, and having everything that you need in order to move forward. Now with the Six of Cups, the Six of Cups is clarified by the Knight of Wands. So with the Knight of Wands clarified by the Six of Cups, I feel like you are evaluating everything in the past in the best way you can for the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good. And in doing so, you are really moving passionately forward towards what you want and desire when it comes to your dreams, and not letting illusions get in your way during this time. It's a very good card to see, because that means that you are overcoming any illusions that you were in the past by reevaluating such past dreams and illusions, or how you gain security with your associations, or past experience and moral systems, and past transformations, and how you take power and control over your business and status. Alright, so, but just keep in mind that you don't want to be too much in your feelings, and instead create emotions towards whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and whatever it is that you're desiring to do in this Mercury and Cancer transit. Alright, so moving on with the Four being clarified by the Queen of Cups. This is saying that you are taking care of yourself in an emotional way, and I feel like that is about self-care and moving into a new beginning, while having the self-care for yourself during this Mercury and Cancer transit, and sharing your cup and giving love to whoever deserves it, because the Queen of Cups does not just give her cup to just anybody. She only gives her cup out to those who deserve it and who are supporting her along the way. So, moving on to the Moonology Oracle cards to end your section of the reading off, Aries. And we'll be moving on to Taurus. So, for your three cards, Aries, your first card is Full Moon in Aquarius. Show the world the real you. So, take this time to really open yourself up. Go after what it is that you're passionately wanting to go after reevaluating the past, and be enlightened about the past, and enlightened that you have everything that you need to proceed forward, and starting this new adventure by taking self-care for yourself, and opening yourself up to the world once again, and showing the world the real you during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the next card that Mother Moon wants to give to you through me is Full Moon. Surrender to the divine. So, surrender to the divine, leave whatever it is that you need to leave in the past, and let the divine or the universe take care of what it is that no longer serves you in its own way, and proceed forward with self-care and going after what you want and desire during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the Full Moon in Pisces as your next card for Mother Moon to you through me, and also the last but not least card that you get is, again, Full Moon in Pisces. Balance spirituality and practicality. So balance these two things out. Yes, it's okay to be an individual, but you need to also use practicality while being an individual during this time of Mercury and Cancer transit. So, with that being said, moving on to Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venuses. Taurus is the feminine side of Venus, so you guys are, and also you guys are fixed Earth, being fixated on its own ways of thinking and being practical. And Taurus was born out of the second house of values and how where you plant seeds at. So, with that being said, Taurus, you are sextiling this Mercury and Cancer transit. And And with that being said, you guys are having opportunities to add more, to initiate emotions when it comes to your thinking and practicality. Instead of just being all practical, you are adding emotions to whatever it is that you are practical about. So, this is creating opportunities for you to initiate new emotions with your practicality once again. So let me shuffle this deck one more time, and we'll get to it. One more time. And let's get. Let's see why. Okay. Alright, so your first card is a really good card because it is the World card. So you are completing a karmic cycle during this time. And the cycle that you're completing during this Mercury and Cancer transit is a cycle that I feel like has been going on for a while. So with the cycle being completed, you are able to move forward in the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good during this Mercury and Cancer transit. With the Queen of Pentacles as your next card, for this Mercury and Cancer transit, you are taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, and you're in a place of fertility as well, and nurturing once again. And in doing this, you are able to nurture those around you as well, knowing this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now, the card that I laughed about, or chuckled when you laugh about, and I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you, is the Three of Swords. So, with the Three of Swords, this is a necessary sacrifice or heartbreak. The reason why I kind of chuckle is because both the World and the Queen of Pentacles is very, very good cards, but we had to pull the Three of Swords. Like, for whatever reason, the universe wanted to shut the abundance down with the Three of Swords. But this is also a card of necessary sacrifice, which can bring you abundance and happiness as well, as long as you sacrifice what it is that is necessary for you to sacrifice during this Mercury and Cancer transit. We'll clarify that when we get to it. But first, let's start clarifications with the World card. Okay, so starting off with the World card being clarified by the Knight of Cups. So with the Knight of Cups clarifying the World card, by you initiating emotions towards what you want and desire, and regardless of anybody's opinions, thoughts, or feelings, or you are completing a karmic cycle for yourself during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Continue to initiate those emotions with your practicality, moving forward in doing so for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being. Now, with the Queen of Pentacles as your next card being clarified by the Eight of Wands, by you taking action into what I feel is self-care and nurturing yourself and doing what's practical for you. In this self-care energy, you are able to proceed forward in a very happy and abundant way during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the Three of Swords being clarified by the Five of Cups, this is saying that you are having to turn around and pay attention to these cups over here. Don't pay attention to these cups right here. These cups are bullshit. These cups are useless. They're already falling over. They're not broken, but they're very well, they might as well be. But you need to turn around and pay attention to what you do have and leave what it is that you need to leave behind in the past, and initiate that necessary sacrifice for yourself so you can turn around and move towards what you do have in your life during this Mercury and Cancer transit, and for the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good. Now move it on to what Mother Moon wants to tell you through me. Shuffle this card one more time. And we'll continue. Alright, so the first card is Blue Moon from Mother Moon. And this is believe in the impossible. So as long as you take action into what it is that you are taking action on, especially what it is for your betterment of your own well-being and your highest good, and initiating these emotions towards what you want and desire by completing this karmic cycle and leaving whatever it is that you need to leave behind in the past, while remaining in the energies of believing in the impossible, you will find abundance and happiness in your life during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now, with the next card being the new moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side. By doing all these things that we just talked about, luck is on your side along the way. Spirit has your back, and your guides, whatever real gods and goddesses, do have your back and are using you as a vessel for them in order to bring happiness and abundance into your life by bringing luck into your life and having luck on your side. Now, with your last card being waxing crescent moon, this is saying to have faith in your dreams. So, have faith in whatever you are taking action on in order to take care of yourself, whatever you're initiating emotions towards, whatever it is that you want and desire, and by doing so, completing this karmic cycle and leaving whatever it is that you don't need once again in the past, and leaving it in the past, and toying around and noticing and looking and paying attention to the cups that you do have, you will be in a place of happiness and abundance, especially if you have faith in your dreams. Okay? Now, moving on to Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mercury's. So, let's get it. Let me shuffle this 3 more times while I talk about what Gemini, how Gemini is being affected from this Mercury and Cancer transit, or more than 3 times. But anyways, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mercury's, you are going to be affected by this Mercury and Cancer transit by seeing another side to your thinking and communication, a more emotional side to the way you think and communicate during this time. Alright, so with that being said, you are not just going to be thinking and communicating and being all air. That air is going to be added with some water during this Mercury and Cancer transit, and you are going to initiate new ways of feeling the emotions. And by doing so, you're going to see another side of how you think and communicate towards others by adding those emotions to your thinking and communication. Now, Gemini itself is mutable air, being mutable and adaptable to its own and other people's ways of thinking and communicating. And Gemini itself was born out of the 3rd house of familiarity, local surroundings, and friends. People who you consider friends. So, let's shuffle this one more time and we will begin with your section of the reading. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. Just give me a second. Appreciate it for being patient. Now, let's move on to your section of the reading. So the first card that you get is the Six of Swords. So with the Six of Swords being here, you are transitioning for what no longer serves you for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being to greener lands, whether it be externally or internally. So by adding emotions to the ways you think and communicate, you are going to greener lands, better lands for yourself, better ways of thinking and communicating, because you're adding those emotions to your thinking and communication during this Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the second card for the Mercury and Cancer transit, you get Ace of Cups, or the Ace of Cups. So this is initiating a new love, whether it be a business, a platonic relationship, a romantic relationship, family, I always said business, or whatever it is, you are adding love to it. You're adding new love to this, whatever it is that you're doing when it comes to the Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the last card that you get is the Chariot. So by you adding these emotions to the ways you think and communicate, you're really going full force after what you are emotionally connected to, by going after what you want and desire when it comes to the Mercury and Cancer transit. Now, let's get to clarifying by shuffling the Rider Waite deck. Two more times. I hope you all have a good Mercury and Cancer transit, as well as all the previous signs that I've done, Aries and Taurus. Plus I'll just add that into the description anyways, so yeah, I hope that's for y'all. Remember that Mercury and Cancer is going to be opposite Pluto, so I'll just add everything into the description down below. So let's get to clarifying. Now, with the Six of Swords is clarified by the Moon card. So, by you following your intuition and following what you're intuitively guided to, by adding emotions to your thinking and communication, you will be able to go towards greener lands, or happier days and abundant life when it comes to the Mercury and Cancer transit. Keep following your intuition. Don't be scared of the unknown. Let your intuition guide you through the unknown. And if you have Pisces or Cancer in your chart, this is very emphasized during this Mercury and Cancer transit. And if not, you may be dealing with the Pisces or Cancer when it comes to the Mercury and Cancer transit. And you're going to towards greener lands when it comes to your emotions, emotional ways of thinking and communicating, by adding the emotions to your thinking and communication. So moving on to the Ace of Cups, which is clarified by the Three of Wands. So with you adding these emotions to your thinking and communication, you are in the energies of launching long-term plans for yourself, long-term goals. You've done the initial wait, you may be waiting for a little bit more, but you are launching them into action during this time. Okay? So with that being said, by you launching long-term goals, what comes after the Three of Wands is the Four of Wands, because you have launched those plans into action and created a happy home and an abundant place for yourself during the Mercury and Cancer transit. Now with the Chariot card, clarified by the Two of Swords, this is saying that by you initiating those emotions with your thinking and communication, you may be stuck in between deciding whether or not you should go after what you want and desire. If you can see there, you got a moon right here, and you also have the moon here, so this is highly about following your intuition during this time. Not your ego, not not boosting your ego, but following your intuition instead during this Mercury in Cancer transit. Okay? The universe and spirit feels like they really want you to follow your intuition during this time by adding those emotion fields to the ways you think and communicate, being mutable A. So, with that being said, let's shuffle the numerology oracle cards 2 more times to see what Mother Moon wants to give you through me. Alright, let's pull these cards and get to what Mother Moon wants to tell you. So, with your first card being full moon in Cancer, this is saying that a personal issue reaches resolution. So as long as you keep following your intuition, leaving things left behind that no longer serve you, launching this long-term goal when it comes to the new love that you've given to either a business, a relationship, a situation or circumstance, dealing with a person, place, or thing, and really deciding the right choice for the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good, that a personal issue will reach resolution. Now with your next card that you get from Mother Moon to you through me is mutable moon. Nothing is yet set in stone. So know that nothing is yet set in stone, and don't be scared of the unknown. I feel like that's what it's pointing to, is the unknown and the fears of the unknown. And keep following your intuition and deciding what's best for you and for your highest good during this Mercury in Cancer transit. Remember that nothing is yet set in stone, so whatever your visions that you may be envisioning for yourself, when it comes to the unknown, may not even happen, especially the negative visions that you may come up with from the field or sphere of reality by agreeing with negative thoughts and feelings of the unknown. Now with the next card, and the last but not least card from Mother Moon to you through me, is New Moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. So know that luck is on your side, and you can really see forward by going after what you want and desire when it comes to you, whatever new love you have given birth to, whether it be business, platonic relationship, romantic relationship, or situation or circumstance, dealing with a person, place, or thing, and know that luck is on your side. Now I'm going to be right back, and we'll move on to Cancer. Hey, no sword. No sword. No. Alright, sorry, got dogs. And they're a bit goofy. So, bear with me. I had a picture on IG for all your soul family to see. And what I was talking about, it was really goofy. So, kind of reminds me of Scooby-Doo, to be honest with you. But let's continue on to Cancer. Happy flight day to all my Cancerians out there. I don't even like the word Cancer. I'd rather call y'all Cancerians, because there ain't nothing cancerous about y'all. But due to you guys being the crab of the zodiac, I can see why they call you Cancer, but I don't like that word because Cancer kills, and Cancers are very intuitive, loving individuals for the most part. And you get some bad ones, but that's with all signs, not just Cancerians. So, Cancerian, you are playing out this energy with Mercury in Cancer transiting. With the Mercury in Cancer transit. So you are the example of this energy during this time. So, be careful with your energies, because people are going to be following you as an example during this Mercury in Cancer transit. moving forward, and Cancerians, you are cardinal water, initiating and creating new ways of feeling the emotions. And Cancerian is born out of the 4th house of home, private life, and close ones and family. And people who you can consider family. So, with that being said, shuffle this one more time and we will begin. Now, your first card, Cancerian, for this Mercury and Cancerian transit is the Tower. I'd rather call you Cancerians. I've been saying Cancer, but I want to get to the habit of saying Cancerian. I want the soul family in us, we want to change that word to Cancerian and not Cancer. So, with your first card, you get the Tower. So, yes, it's the Tower, but this can be a positive tower that's falling, or a negative tower that's falling. AKA, you may be getting rid of old shit that no longer serves you, or this is about positive stuff going down. But I feel like it's more about getting bad shit and shit that no longer serves you for the benefit of your highest good and well-being in the past, and letting it fall. So, your next card that you get is the Ace of Swords. So with the Ace of Swords, this is clarity and it's an epiphany of a new idea or new thought during this Mercury and Cancer transit, or Mercury and Cancerian transit. So, with that being said, use this clarity to your advantage moving forward in this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with the Two of Swords as your last but not least final card from the tarot, or the initial universal character tarot, but anyway, is about a decision. So, you need to choose or decide about a decision during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Remember to follow your intuition, because there is the moon in the Two of Swords. And choose what's best for your highest good. Put your emotions behind you and choose what is best for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being, regardless of how you are feeling with your emotions moving forward with this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now let's move on to clarifying these cards. So, with this one more time. Happy flight day once again. If you are new and don't know what flight day is, go check out Bill of the Pilot Man, and you'll learn, or not even learn, but be reminded about all what that means. Okay? For the Soul Fam, happy flight day. So, get to clarifying. So with the tower gets clarified by the moon card. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio or Pisces, or if you have Scorpio, Pisces, especially Pisces, we'll get to that, and Cancer, because we get there's Cancer and Pisces on the board. We'll get to that when we get to it. So if you have any of those alignments in your chart, they will be emphasized heavily during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. And Cancerian. So with the tower getting clarified by the moon card, This is saying that you are letting things fall that no longer serve you by following your intuition and embracing the unknown during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. Now, don't be scared of the unknown. Alright? Do your best to create higher perspectives and positive thoughts and feelings when it comes to any type of negativity that you may be influenced by during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. Now moving on to the Ace of Swords being clarified by the Hangman. You have sparked up a new idea, an epiphany, by some sort of enlightenment. Again, this is Pisces energy, so if you have Pisces in your chart, this is going to be greatly emphasized during this time, while Mercury is transiting Cancerian during these times that we are in. So, this could be an enlightenment, an epiphany, which I feel like that strongly, but this could also be stagnation, but I don't know why stagnation would come out for the Ace of Swords, so I feel like this is an epiphany or enlightenment of some sort that you're going to get during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. Now, with the Two of Swords being clarified by the Chariot card, during this Mercury in Cancerian transit, you are going to be initiating the motions towards what you are intuitively called to go towards when it comes to Mercury in Cancerian. Alright? So, initiate those emotions, keep following your emotions and your intuition, but do your best to not be overly passionate, because Mars and Venus are in Leo during this time, while Mercury is transiting Cancerian. So, let's move on to the Moonology Oracle deck. Two and three. Alright, now, with your first card from Mother Moon to you through me, this is New Moon in Gemini. Communication is key. So, communicate about what you are enlightened about. Communicate about what no longer serves you for the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good. Possibly, in most cases, towards yourself. Because this can be external communication and internal communication, because it is a Moonology Oracle card, and Oracle cards are dealing with the internal realm. So, communicating with yourself about what you no longer need in your life that isn't serving you for the betterment of your highest good and well-being, you can follow. You will be more. It will be more easier for you to follow your intuition towards what you want and need during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. Now, with the second Moonology card that Mother Moon wants to give to you through me is Full Moon in Pisces. Balance spirituality and practicality. So, yes, it's good to be an individual, but you also must balance being an individual as well as practicality as a whole. Alright? Especially during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. And I feel like it's about this enlightenment and about embracing the unknown and being practical about what it is that no longer serves you during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. Now, with your last card, but definitely not least, for Mother Moon to you, to me, is Waxing Crescent Moon. Have faith in your dreams. So, have faith in whatever you are dreaming about. Initiate those emotions to go after those dreams, and I feel like this is talking about this Two of Swords. You may have a dream that you may not be sure of if you should go after or not. If that is the case, then this is saying yes, and to initiate those emotions full-heartedly through this epiphany that you are getting, by being enlightened by whatever it is, maybe possibly through this reading, and embracing the unknown and letting the tower fall, which will no longer serve you for the betterment of your highest good and well-being during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. once again, happy flight day. Now, moving on to Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So, let me pick up the cards and we'll move on to said Leo. Now, Leo, you being fixed fire, being fixated on your own ways of seeing the emotions, and you, and Leo being born out of the 5th house of expression, whatever you're creatively working on, and once again, how you express yourself. You, being the other side of this Cancerian energy, with Mercury translating Cancerian, you are going to see another side of how you are fixated in your, in the ways of how you see your emotions during this time. So, with that being said, let's shuffle these cards 3 more times, and we will proceed forward with Leo. Remember that once again, how you are seeing another side to how you are fixated on seeing your emotions during this time. Now, let's draw 3 more cards. Your 3 cards. I feel like there's a little scattered as well, so do your best to remain calm, cool, and collected. Now, with your first card for Mercury and Cancerian transit, you get the 6 of Cups. So, with the 6 of Cups, this is saying that you are reevaluating any type of past situations and circumstances when it comes to Pluto, past ways of how you gain power and control over in Pisces and Capricorn. So, past ways how you took took power and control over your business status. Jupiter in Pisces retrograde, past ways of how you your more systems and experiences when it comes to mutable water, being mutable and adaptable to your own and other people's ways of feeling your emotions. Saturn in Aquarius retrograde, and revaluing that, and revaluing past ways of how you gain security in your associations. And Neptune in Pisces retrograde, past ways of how you of your dreams and illusions. Remember, do not bring those past illusions into the present moment. Instead, getting rid of those past illusions by reevaluating them and by implementing those dreams that you once had in the future, especially if they are serving you for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with the next card for the Mercury and Cancerian transit, you get the 6 of Pentacles. So I feel a balance of equal give and take between you and whatever you're doing, whether it be business or whoever you're related to, in your relationships, or your partner, or whatever the case may be. There is a sense of equal give and take in this area of life during this Mercury in Cancerian transit. So, you may be seeing another side to how you feel, how you see your emotions, seeing how you feel about your emotions, and in doing so, it'll have an easier access for that equal give and take situation to occur for you during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with your last card being the Knight of Swords, for the Mercury and Cancerian transit, you are communicating about what you want and desire during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Go after what you want and desire by communicating about it. Open your mouth. Remember that closed mouths don't get fed, especially if you want or desire something. But during this Mercury and Cancerian transit, communicate during this time. Now, moving on to clarification. So let me shuffle this 3 more times. I hope you all have a good Mercury and Cancerian transit when it comes into these energies. Let's get the clarifying. So, with that being said, with the Six of Cups, I'm back. So, with the Six of Cups, about you reevaluating past situations when it comes to the retrograde of Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune, you get the Seven of Pentacles clarifying the Six of Cups. So with the Seven of Pentacles, this is the planning stage on how long you should implement this plan or goal for yourself. Remember, if it's for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being, do not stop working towards what you want to grow into fruition, and do not let the impatientness get to you during this time. Alright? So with that being said, do not let impatientness get to you during this Mercury and Cancerian transit, and you will be okay. Now with the Six of Pentacles, you get the Five of Wands clarifying the Six of Pentacles. So there might be some minor conflict when it comes to equal give and take, but there is a sense of equal give and take. I'm going to clarify this Five of Wands one more time. Alright, so the Chariot gets clarified, the Five of Wands. So you need to initiate emotions in order to solve this minor conflict when it comes to this equal give and take situation. Add more emotions to it and not just be in your feelings about it. Alright? Especially during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now with the Knight of Swords, the Three of Swords gets clarified by the Knight of Swords. So again, this is a little base, so I'm going to pull one more card. Alright, so you need to communicate and sacrifice whatever is necessary in order to go after what it is that you are initiating this new love, or whatever this new love that you have initiated is about. So, with that being said, continue on with this necessary sacrifice that you have had when it comes to this new love that you've done during this Mercury and Cancerian transit, and communicate about what you want and desire during this time. Now, with that being said, moving on to the Numerology Oracle cards for your section of the reading, while Mercury is transiting Cancerian during this time. I hope you all have a good Mercury and Cancerian transit, a good time during this transit, and let's continue on with the Numerology Oracle cards to see what Mother Moon has to say to you through me. There's people outside, so if you get that, that's what that is. Don't get that no mind. Anyways, let's continue. It's my brother William and his friend. But that's okay. They're usually quiet. They don't get too loud. What your first Numerology Oracle card that Mother Moon wants to get to you through me is Full Moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. So, as long as you initiate the emotions and communicate about what it is that you need to communicate about whatever it is bothering you. This can be a necessary sacrifice with the Three of Swords, but this can also be about heartbreak. So, with that being said, you may need to communicate what is hurting you by, and whatever it is that you are giving forth to with this new love situation. Communication is really important during this time, and by communicating about what you want during this time, the answers you need will come to you during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with the new moon in Scorpio being the next card from Mother Moon to you through me, this says walk through your feels. So this conflict that I feel like you're dealing with is about a feel of having things in the past come back around. So walk through those feels, initiate the emotions that you need to initiate during this time to push past this conflict, and communicate whatever it is that you are being hurt by, or whatever necessary sacrifice you need to do with this new love situation. And don't let impatientness get in your way. Alright? So don't blow up due to impatientness, but continue to plan stuff out for the well-being and your highest good, and work through your fears. Now, with the last card that you get is the New Moon in Gemini. Communication is key. So once again, you get both New Moon and Full Moon in Gemini. So this is really about communicating about what you want and need during this time, what you want and desire during this time of Mercury transitioning this Cancerian energy. So by communicating, open your mouth, because closed mouths don't get fed, you will be able to rectify any type of problems that you may have during this time. Because everybody is going to be in the realms of thinking and communicating by initiating new ways of feeling the emotions when it comes to thinking and communication. So, moving on to Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mercury's. Virgo is the feminine side of Mercury and tonal side of Mercury. So, that being said, Virgo, you are sextiling this energy at the moment. So, with that being said, you are going to have opportunities to initiate new ways of feeling the emotions when it comes to your thinking and communication. Virgo is mutable earth, being mutable and adaptable to its own and other people's ways of thinking and being practical. And Virgo itself was born out of the 6th house of schedules, day-to-day routine, and whatever you are working on. So with that being said, let's shuffle this 3 more times. Remember that you are having opportunities to add more emotions to the ways that you think and are practical. So use this to your advantage to create the right opportunities and not opportunities for negativity. Alright, so alright, moving on. For your 3 cards, and pretty much the same thing that Leo got. That's crazy. Anyways, but you guys are on the other side of Leo, so anyways, let's get to it. With the first card being the 6 of Pentacles, this is a sense of equal give and take for yourself as well. But like Leo, there might be some problems dealing with equal give and take. Alright, so with that being said, we'll clarify this when we get to it. But there is a sense of equal give and take, or a possible conflict when it comes to equal give and take. It's a little bit of both, I feel like. Now, with the next card being the 6 of Cups, this is you reevaluating past ways of Pluto and Capricorn Retrograde, which is past ways of transforming and taking power and control of your business status, past ways of how you gain security in your associations, Saturn and Aquarius, past ways of your moral systems and experiences when it comes to Jupiter and Pisces Retrograde. Pisces being mutable water, being mutable and adaptable to its own and other people's ways of feeling the emotions. Aquarius for Saturn is fixed air, being fixated on its own ways of thinking and being practical. And Capricorn is initiating new ways when it comes to thinking and being practical. And finally, with Neptune and Pisces Retrograde, this is going back into previous or past dreams and illusions in order to go bring those past illusions into the present moment and bring those dreams into the present moment moving forward with this Mercury and Cancerian transit, especially if it's for the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good. So, with that being said, you're revaluing all these past situations, or this is you sharing with others. We'll clarify it when we get to it. So with your last card is the Knight of Swords. So with the Knight of Swords being here, you are wanting to initiating communication when it comes to the realms of Mercury and Cancerian transit by adding emotions to that thinking and communication energy. So again, we'll clarify this when we get to it, because this might be different for you than it was for Leo. Any major arcana cards that come out will be, during this Mercury and Cancerian transit, will be emphasized during this time. So just keep that in mind. Leo, if you are watching, if you have Cancer in your chart, and with that, this energy will be emphasized during this time. So let's clarify. Alright, so that being said, let's continue. With the Six of Pentacles, it gets clarified by the Empress card. So know that you are valued and you have value and self-worth. And if you have Taurus in your chart, which is this Taurus energy, keep in mind that that energy will be emphasized during this time while Mercury is transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Alright, so know that you are the motherly figure, know that your advice is well appreciated, know that you are valued, and if you are not wanting kids as well, remember this is a card of fertility, so if you are not wanting kids, remember to protect yourself during this time. Now with your next card being the Six of Cups, this gets clarified by the Judgment card, Scorpio energy. So with that being said, if you have Scorpio in your chart, this energy is going to be emphasized for you as well. So take advantage to really calculate your emotions when it comes to the Taurus energy in your chart and the Scorpio energy in your chart. And this is also about a rebirth or a judgment card. So your rebirth, I feel like you are rebirthing a dream from the past, because this is dealing with the past and reevaluating the past, and you're taking the power of control over the situation when it comes to this rebirthing process during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Not letting past moral systems get in the way, and not letting anything when it comes to how you gain security with your associations get in the way as well. Now with the Knights of Swords, you get the Queen of Wands clarifying the Knight of Swords. Alright, so remain optimistic, remain outgoing, remain free and independent, and communicate about what you want and desire when it comes to this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, in doing so, by remaining passionate and outgoing, you will find yourself in a place of happiness and abundance during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. So, with that being said, let's move on to the Moonology Oracle cards to end this reading off. Alright, so 2 cards popped out. We'll keep this. Well, I'm not taking all those, so we'll keep this, because this one popped out by itself, but then there was a pile that popped out. So I'd rather keep the single one rather than the pile. Alright, so 2 more cards. Alright. Now, with this Mercury and Cancerian transit, you get, or the first card that Mother Moon gives to you through me is Super Moon. Emotions are running high. So know that emotions are running high during this time. Keep in mind that wherever you have Scorpio or Taurus at, that these energies will be amplified during this Neptune and Cancerian transit. And don't let these emotions that are running high bother you in a negative way. And if they are starting to bother you in a negative way, create a higher perspective and higher and positive thoughts and feelings by understanding that you as a spirit are no thing, no shape, no form, and you have the power and the ability to bring heaven down to you by creating higher perspectives and more positive thoughts and feelings, and transmuting and getting rid of those negative thoughts and feelings or visions or any negativity that you may be dealing with during this time of Mercury in Cancerian transit. Now, moving on to your second card, which is New Moon in Cancer, or Cancerian. You and your loved ones are safe. So the New Moon in Cancerian is your next card from Mother Moon to you through me, which is you and your loved ones are safe. So don't worry about anybody that you're close to or yourself, because you are safe. They are safe. Everyone is safe, and in doing this will make it easier for you to reboard this dream or this vision that you have envisioned for yourself, and take power and control over this dream or vision, and understanding that you are valued and you are very much appreciated, and keep being outgoing by communicating about what you want and desire during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with your last card, during this Mercury and Cancerian transit from Mother Moon to you to me, is Full Moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. So, look at the bigger picture of what you're doing. Don't think just about the little stuff that's happening now and then. Look at what is possible in the future. Alright? Look at the bigger picture of the whole situation and circumstance that you're in during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, moving on to Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venuses. Libra is the feminine, masculine side of Venus, which is the external side, and you are going to be squaring this Mercury and Cancerian energy. So you're going to be learning how to add more emotions to the ways that you initiate and communicate with others. Alright, so you're not just going to initiate communication and ways of thinking, but you're going to add more emotions to the ways that you think and communicate, and how you initiate with your the ways that you think and communicate during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. So, with that being said, let's shuffle these cards 3 more times, and we will begin. And with that, Libra is cardinal air, initiating, creating new ways of thinking and communicating, as well as Libra is born out of the 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and whoever you are relating to. So, with that being said, let's pull your 3 cards out and get started with your section of the reading. Alright, so you are having a very powerful time during this time of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. So with that being said, your first card is the Emperor. So with the Emperor, you are taking power and control over whatever you are doing in the realms of thinking and communication when it comes to this Mercury and Cancerian transit. And if you have Aries in your chart, this energy is going to be amplified during this time with Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian, taking power and control over the situation, circumstance that you're in, or whatever it is that you are wanting, desiring to do. Now, with the Ward card as your next card for this Mercury and Cancerian transit, which is Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus energy. If you have any of those in your chart, these are going to be amplified as well. Alright, so with the War card, this is talking about a completion. So you're going to be completing a karmic cycle during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Alright, so this is very good. Keep in mind that if you have any of these energies, Aries, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Leo in your chart, that these energies are going to be amplified during this time. Now, with your last card being the Judgment card, which is Scorpio energy, you are rebirthing a dream or making a judgment call about something or someone, person, place, or thing, circumstance, or situation. Keep in mind that this is Scorpio energy, so if you have Scorpio in your chart, that this energy is going to be amplified for you as well. Now, let's move on to clarifying these cards. So one more time. Oh, shoot. Okay. My cards are pouring out. You guys are getting impatient. You guys are either getting really excited or impatient. Yeah, you guys are scattered as well. So, Libras, do your best to keep calm, cool, and collective during this time. Let's pull this final card, and let's continue. So with the Emperor, you get the Ace of Wands clarifying the Emperor. So with the Ace of Wands, this is a spark of a new passion or vision, and you're taking power and control over this new passion or vision as you've given birth for yourself during this new moon in not new moon, but Mercury and Cancerian energy. Alright? So keep taking power and control and transforming yourself in any way you can to continue to go after this new vision that you've birthed for yourself. Now with the War card, you get the War card clarifying the War card. So, like I said, with Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, or Scorpio, these energies are going to be double, and these energies are going to be really intense and amplified during this time. So, with Mercury transitioning Cancerian. So with that being said, you are really completing the karmic cycle during this time. You are done with the bullshit. You have evaluated everything that you needed to evaluate with these retrogrades, and you are continuing forward with completing this karmic cycle for yourself. Again, if you have Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, or Scorpio in your chart, these energies will be amplified during this time. Now with the Judgment card, you get the Nine of Cups clarifying the Judgment card. So whatever you have rebirthed or made a Judgment call on, is coming from the fact that you are emotionally independent with yourself. Nine of Cups. You have everything that you need. You may not have everything that you want, but that's with the Ten of Cups, not the Nine of Cups, but you do have everything that you need, and that you are satisfied with where you are, so you can rebirth whatever it is that you are rebirthing, or whatever Judgment card that you are making. And Scorpio is really intensified during this time for you, so if you have that in your chart, that is an area of life that you really need to pay attention to. And with the Nine of Cups, this is emotional independence, and you're remaining in this emotional independence energy during this time with Mercury transitioning Cancerian. So, with that being said, moving on to the Moonology Oracle cards. Alright, now one more time, we will get started with pouring the cards out that Mother Moon wants to give to you. through me. Oh shit. I don't know if the camera caught that, but you guys are scattered and getting a little impatient. So, that card out, this card out, and pull this card out. Alright, I'll pull the cards out. Don't. Alright, so, with your first card from Mother Moon to you through me is full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. So as long as you complete whatever it is that you're completed, rebirth whatever it is that you need to rebirth, or whatever judgment card that you need to make, and just keep on taking power and control over whatever vision this is entailing. That during this Mercury and Cancerian transit, conclusions will be within reach. Now, with your next card being the full moon in Pisces, from Mother Moon to you through me, is balance spirituality and practicality. So, balance your individuality as well as what is practical when dealing with the external world as well as the internal world. Alright? Be practical about what you are doing, but remain in your individuality during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Remain in the emotional independence as well. Now with your next card, and final but last but not least card from Mother Moon to you through me, is full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. So look at the bigger picture of what you're doing currently in your life at this moment, whether it be a business, a personal business, a relationship, situation, circumstance, dealing with a person, place, or thing, whatever it is, during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Remember to look at the bigger picture during this time. Now, moving on to Scorpio. So Scorpios, you are going to be trining this energy with Mercury transition in the sign of Cancerian. So with that being said, you're going to be taking, well first let me talk about what Scorpio is. Scorpio is fixed water, being fixated on its own ways of feeling the emotions. And Scorpio itself is born out of the 8th house of secrets, behind closed doors energy, occult, and mysticism. So, with that being said, you guys are going to have the gift of taking all those fixated deep feelings and emotions and initiate new ways of how to feel about those emotions during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. So with that being said, let me shuffle this 2 more times and we will begin. So, that being said, I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. I hope you can hear me over this fan, because I know in some other videos my voice is quiet because of this fan, but I hope you guys can hear me over this fan. But let's get started with your reading, Scorpio, for the Mercury and Cancerian transit. Your first card you get is the 7 of Cups. So, with the 7 of Cups, this is you having a lot of choices during this time where you want to direct your deep feelings and emotions and how you can create new feelings and emotions with those deep feelings and emotions. Remember to narrow yourself down to 2 or 3 main directions. Alright, Scorpio, you'll notice the cut. So like I was saying, you have a lot of choices to where you want to direct those deep feelings and emotions that you are in, and initiating and creating new emotions and feelings with those deep emotions and feelings. Narrow it down to 2 or 3 main emotions or feelings. And with that being said, this could also be a card of dreams and illusions. So make sure that you're not lost into any illusions. But remember to follow your dreams during this time with Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Now with the next card you get is the 7 of Pentacles. So with the 7 of Pentacles, This is you planning stuff out on how long you want to work on a goal, aspiration, a personal business, or how long you want to work at a job or dealing with a relationship. But this could also mention impatientness while doing so. So, number 2, do not have your impatientness get the best of you, and to continue to plan out and work towards what you want and desire, especially if it's for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with your last but not least final card that you get from the Mother Moon to you through me is the High Priestess. So you are listening to intuition, in your knowledge and wisdom, but you could also have people keeping secrets from you as well, not for all of you, but for some, as well as, but mainly I feel like this is you following your intuition, going after your dreams and not being impatient with those dreams. But we'll have to clarify these cards when we get to it. Now let's shuffle it the light away 3 more times, or 3 times, and then get to clarifying your set of cards for this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, one more time, and there we go. So, let's clarify this. Okay, I feel like this is dreams. Alright, so with your with the 7 of Cups, you get the Ward card clarifying, the 9 of Wands clarifying the 7 of Cups, which the 9 of Wands is clarified by the Ward card. So, you are going after your dreams and picking yourself up from whatever battles or wounds that you've endured in the past. Notice how the guy is wounded, so you've been through a lot of hardships and endured a lot of hard things during this life. Do not let that derail you from going after your dreams during this Mercury and Cancerian transit, and by not letting it derail you, you will complete a karmic cycle. Now, if you have Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, or Leo in your chart, know that this is talking about, these energies will be amplified during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with the 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles is clarified by the 2 of Cups. So I'm going to, these are very vague, so I'm going to clarify this one more time. So, alright, so this is you listening to your higher self. So listen to your higher self when it comes to planning on whatever it is that you need to plan out for yourself and the betterment of your well-being and what's best for your highest good. And keep in mind to keep listening to your intuition and your higher self, even if, because the 5 of Pentacles is clarifying the 2 of Cups, even if you are feeling left out in the cold. Alright? So with the Tower, clarifying the High Priestess, once again, I'm going to clarify the Tower with the 4 of Wands. Alright, so by you listening to your intuition and by you listening to your higher self, you will get rid of whatever does no longer serve you for your highest good and the betterment of your well-being, and you will find yourself in a happy home, in a happy place during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Alright? Keep listening to your intuition, keep using your knowledge and wisdom with the Tower 4 of things that no longer serve you for your highest good and well-being, and understand that you are in a happy home during this time of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Now, let's move on to the Numerology Oracle cards to finish your section of the reading off. Now, pull 3 cards out. That one really came out shooting out. I don't know if the camera caught that, but get to it when we get to it. So, with your fourth card from Mother Moon to you through me is full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. So as long as you follow your intuition, complete whatever it is that you need to complete as far as this karmic cycle of enduring wounds, not letting those wounds or hardships get the best of you, and going and continuing to go after your dreams. Keep in mind that Scorpio is going to be, if you have Scorpio in your chart, that these energies are really going to be intensified and amplified during this time, and we'll be transitioning the sign of Cancerian. But in completing the cycle and following your intuition, no matter if you feel like you're left out in the cold, and letting things fall that no longer serve you, and understanding that you're in a happy home. When it comes to using your knowledge and wisdom and intuition, that conclusions are within reach. Now, with your next card being the North Node, from Mother Moon to you through me, is step out of your comfort zone. Now, this card shot out of the deck, so Mother Moon really wants you to emphasize on stepping out of your comfort zone during this time. Do not let your comfort derail you from going after what you feel called to do and desire to do during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Initiate the right emotions with those deep feelings and emotions that you are in, and step out of your comfort zone. Mother Moon cannot stress this enough, especially with it shooting out of the deck like it did. Now, with the last but not least card that Mother Moon wants to give to you through me is New Moon in Aries. It's time to take action. So, like the card says, it's time to take action. Take action on whatever it is that you feel called to, and don't let these hardships that you've endured prevent you from going after what you feel like you need to take action on. And in doing so, you will complete a karmic cycle and listening to your intuition on both sides, with getting rid of anything that no longer serves you and your highest good and betterment of your own well-being, and embracing this feeling of being feeling like you are left out in the cold. You, in taking action, you will be able to ride this transit of Mercury being in Cancerian more easily for yourself during this time. Now, moving on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Jupiter. Sagittarius is the masculine side of Jupiter, so it means the external side, and Sagittarius is mutable fire, being mutable and adaptable to your own and other people's ways of feeling the emotions, of seeing and feeling the emotions. So, with that being said, you guys are going to be inconjuncting this Mercury and Cancerian energy. So, you may misunderstand how to immediately see the feelings and the emotions, and misunderstand how to create new emotions and feelings when it comes to the ways you think and communicate during this time. So with that being said, let's move on and shuffle your deck 2 more times, or the deck 2 more times, and we will get to your section of the reading for Mercury and Cancerian transit during this time. So, 1, 2, and 3. So, with your first card for the Mercury and Cancerian transit, you get the Fool card. So, this is about a new beginning, a new adventure, a new start. And with this being said, do your best to not be too reckless or careless, because in the original Rider-Waite deck, a dog is pulling out the Fool's leg because he's about to walk off the cliff, because he's looking up into the sky and not paying attention to his surroundings. Do your best to not be in that energy and to pay attention to what's around you and not be too reckless during this time. Now, your second card that you get is the Two of Swords. So, with the Two of Swords, this is talking about you having to make a decision, you will need to go within, put your emotions behind you, follow your intuition, because there is a moon in the card, and decide what's best for you and your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being during this time of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Now, with your last card, but last but not least, is the Tower. So, with the Tower being here, this is saying that you are letting things fall, whether it be positive or negative, but we'll clarify that when we get to it. Keep in mind that if you have Aries or Scorpio in your chart during this time, that these energies will be amplified while Mercury is transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Now, let's move on to clarifying your cards. One more shuffle and we will begin. With the clarification. Alright, so with the Four card, you get the Three of Pentacles, clarifying the Four card. So, with that being said, you are starting a new adventure and a new beginning when it comes to whatever you are working and creating with. Okay? So, be your best to continue to work on whatever you're working on when it comes to the Mercury and Cancerian transit, and do what's best for your highest good and well-being, and keep working, especially if it's what's best for you. Do not be reckless and pay attention to what you're working on, and use practicality and making sense, but initiate those emotions towards whatever you're working on. Okay? Now, with the Two of Swords, you get the Queen of Wands, clarifying the Two of Swords, but since this was a little vague, I clarified it, and you get the Two of Wands. So, with the Two of Swords being clarified by the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands clarified by the Two of Wands, this is saying that you need to remain in an optimistic attitude, an optimistic place, alright? Keep being optimistic, keep being outgoing, keep going after what you want and desire for yourself. And with that being said, with the Two of Wands, keep in the planning stages and planning for your life as a whole. Decide what's best for you and your highest good and the betterment of your well-being, as well as following your intuition while doing so during this Mercury and Cancerian in transit. Now with the Tarot card, you get the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups is clarified by the Knight of Swords, because once again that was a little vague. But with the Tarot card, you need to let everything that does not serve you fall during this time, so you can go after what it is that you feel emotionally called to, especially with those deep feelings that you're, well, not deep feelings, but with your mutable ways of seeing and feeling the emotions, and going after what you want and desire during this time of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. So, with that being said, let's continue on with the Moonology Oracle deck to end the reading, when your section of the reading off. That one popped out. So, for your three cards, the first card for Mother Moon to you through me is expect powerful change. So, expect powerful change, especially if you embrace this new beginning and continue to work on whatever you feel called to work on. Alright? Continue to be optimistic and plan for your future. Keep listening to your intuition, deciding the best for yourself and your own well-being, your highest good, and open yourself more open towards whatever you want and desire, and communicate about what you want and desire, and let things that no longer serve you fall. Keep in mind that if you have Scorpio or Aries in your chart, these energies will be amplified during this time, and keep in mind to expect powerful change. Now, with the next card that you get from Mother Moon to you through me is Gibeah's Moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. So, with that being said, you are very close to achieving your goal as long as you do everything that we just talked about in your section of the reading. Do not worry. Keep following your intuition and going after what you want and desire during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, the last card that Mother Moon wants to give to you through me is Super Moon. Emotions are running high. So, emotions are going to be running high during this time. Do not let these emotions bother you, because that is the misunderstanding of where to direct those emotions by being mutable and adaptable by seeing and feeling the emotions. So do not let these emotions go too haywire. Embrace this new beginning. Keep working on what it is that you're working on, especially if it's for the benefit of your own well-being, your highest good. Let things that no longer serve you fall, and continue to plan for your future in a positive way for the betterment, once again, for the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good. Now, so moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Saturn. Capricorn is the feminine side of Saturn, so you guys are the internal side of the planet Saturn, which is dealing with reality. And you guys are going to be opposite this energy. So first, let's talk about what Capricorn is. Capricorn is initiating new ways of thinking and being practical. So, with that being said, Capricorn is born out of the 10th house of career, business, and status. So, and how you are seen in that area of life. So, with that being said, Capricorn, you're going to be opposite this energy, like I said. So, you're going to be opposite. Instead of initiating new ways of thinking and being practical, you're going to have to get used to the energies of initiating and feeling new ways of feeling the emotions. So, with that being said, you can be a little opposite. You are going to be opposite of these energies during this time. So, but you will be okay for the most part. Now, let's shuffle this one more time and we will begin. I just felt a heavy sensation, so I don't know what you guys will be dealing with, but you might be enduring some heavy feelings at the moment. But with your first card for this Mercury and Cancerian transit, you get the levels. Alright, so you could be dealing with a powerful relationship, possibly a twin flame or a soulmate. This is Gemini energy as well, so if you have Gemini in your chart, these energies will be amplified for you during this time. Or this is a card about co-creating with your higher self. We'll have to clarify this when we get to it. Now with your next card from Mercury and Cancerian energies and transit, you get the Queen of Pentacles. So you're taking this time of self-care and caring about yourself, so that you can be practical about yourself and whatever you're doing, whatever you're working on, and in order to take care and be motherly around for others. Alright, during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now your last card that you get from the tarot for clarifications is the Knight of Swords. So you are communicating about what you want and desire during this time and being very direct with that communication during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now let's clarify these cards. We'll continue with your in your clarification. So again, it's very vague. That one's really, that one is. So, with the Lover's card, you get the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. So, you need to take action towards whatever you're being called to from your higher self. I feel like this is from your higher self, and it's dealing with an opportunity. So, taking action on this opportunity will help you out during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Take action on this opportunity, from this opportunity and action that you're being called to from your higher self. Now with the Queen of Pentacles, you get the Five of Cups. So you need to leave whatever it is that you need, whatever it is that you're mourning about in the past, and look towards the future at this time. Look towards the future. Don't worry about what's in the past and what you have lost, but instead focus on what you have gained, and practice self-care so you can care for others around you during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now with the Knight of Swords, you get the Six of Cups clarified by the Sun card. So with the Six of Cups, this is talking about communication, about sharing with others, or about past things that you've endured. And in doing so, you will find a sense of happiness and abundance during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now with the talk, communicate about what is bothering you, especially if it's something about the past, because you will find happiness by doing so. You know, Capricorns like to be resolved into themselves, but right now you need to communicate about what's bothering you so you can find a sense of happiness. Now, moving on to the Numerology Oracle cards to end your section of the reading off. So, that being said, let's pull the 3 cards out and let's get to it. Now, your first card that you get from the moon, from Mother Moon to you through me, is New Moon in Leo. Confidence is key. So, keep in mind that confidence is key when communicating about what is bothering you, so you can find a sense of happiness. Communicate about this opportunity that you've been given from your higher self, or dealing with a relationship of some sort. Keep in mind that if you have Leo or Gemini in your chart, that these energies will be amplified for you as well. And remember that confidence is your key to success. Now, with the next card being New Moon in Pisces, from Mother Moon to you through me, is meditate and contemplate. So, meditate and contemplate on what you are doing for yourself, as far as what you're working on, your business, your family life, your personal life, whatever it is. Meditate and contemplate about what it is that you feel guided to during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with the last card from Mother Moon to you through me, is Full Moon in Cancerian. A personal issue reaches resolution. So, A personal issue will reach resolution as long as you communicate and accept this opportunity and take action towards this opportunity and leave the past in the past and move forward in what is there for you, for your highest good and betterment of your own well-being. And know by doing this, a personal issue will reach resolution. Now, moving on to Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Saturn. So Aquarius, you are the masculine side of Saturn, the external side of Saturn, the planet of reality, and you are going to be in conjuncting this Mercury and Cancerian energy. So, let's talk about what Aquarius is. Aquarius is fixed air, being fixated on its own ways of thinking and communicating. And with that being said, Aquarius was born out of the 11th house of how you're seen in the public arena, what you're associated with, and your associations. Now, let's shuffle the deck 2 more times, and then we'll pull your 3 cards out for your section of the reading. One and 2. Okay. So, with your first card for this transit of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian, you get the Queen of Pentacles. So you are needing to take self-care for yourself, being practical about what you're doing as far as the material realm, and in doing so, you can take care of others around you during this time of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Now, with the second card that you get for this Mercury and Cancerian energy, you get the 8 of Cups. So, you need to walk away from whatever does not serve you for the highest good and the betterment of your own well-being during this Mercury and Cancerian transit, and in doing so will bring you happiness and abundance in your life and help you through this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with your last but not least final card from the tail of the Universal Celtic deck, you get the Queen of Wands. So you are in the energies of being optimistic, outgoing, passionate. Remember that Mars and Venus are in the sign of Leo right now. So do take care of being too overly passionate. Pace yourself in whatever you're doing. If you're working on a personal business or goal or aspiration or job or whatever it is, pace yourself. Remain optimistic, remain outgoing, and you'll be able to ride this Mercury and Cancerian transit more fluidly. Now, with that being said, that's a misunderstanding. You need to take care of yourself instead of focusing on others. And remain optimistic and outgoing, and by taking care of yourself, you will be in the energies of taking care of others, as well as leave what does not serve you for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being behind. Now, clarifying the cards. Shoot, these cards flow out. Anyways, let me pick these cards up and we'll continue. I think I need to clarify this. Alright, cool. So, with the Queen of Pentacles gets clarified by the Knight of Cups. So, in taking care of yourself and practicing self-care and being practical in whatever you're working on, You will find yourself in the energies of emotional independence during this time of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. This is a very good energy, a very prosperous energy, a very attractive energy. So keep being in this energy, and you will receive the benefits that you deserve and find happiness and abundance in your life. Now with the Eight of Cups is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. So with the Queen of Pentacles clarifying the Eight of Cups, this is saying that you are practicing this too, Queen of Cups, heal. So this is all about you taking care of yourself and being practical in whatever it is that you're working on or relating or with your relationships. And this is also a very fertile card. So you could, if you don't want to be pregnant, use protection, but at the same time, you are nurturing yourself as well as in order to have the ability to nurture others around you, as well as walk away from what no longer serves you for your highest good and the betterment of your own well-being. Now with the Queen of Wands gets clarified by the High Priestess, as well, and the High Priestess gets clarified by the Six of Cups. So, by you remaining optimistic and passionate and outgoing, by using your intuition and knowledge and wisdom, you will be able to move away from whatever it is that you need to move away from that is involved with the past. Alright? Use these retrogrades that we are in with Pluto and Capricorn, which is past ways of how we take power and control over situations. Jupiter and Pisces going into Aquarius, so past moral systems and experiences when it comes to Pisces energy, which mutable water, and dealing with Saturn Retrograde in Aquarius, which is past ways of how we gain security with our associations and what we associate with, as well as Neptune and Pisces Retrograde, which is past dreams and illusions that we need to reevaluate in order to move forward. Remember, don't bring past illusions into the present, and to bring past dreams into the present, especially if they're for your own well-being or the betterment of your own well-being and your highest good. Okay? Use your intuition to get past this past bullshit that you may be enduring by being outgoing and passionate. Or this is about you listening to your intuition, about sharing with others during this time. Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Now, moving on to the Moonology Oracle deck. See what's going on with you and what Mother Moon wants to give to you through me. Now, with your first card you get is Full Moon Eclipse, from Mother Moon to you through me, and that is conclusions are within reach. As long as you walk away from what that no longer serves you for your highest good and betterment of your own well-being, keep on following your intuition and your knowledge and wisdom, and keep remaining into the self-care energy and remaining emotionally independent, conclusions will be within reach. Now, your next card that you get from Mother Moon to you through me is New Moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation. So, like the card says, bring love into whatever it is that you are working on, as well as bring love into yourself. Alright? Focus on yourself, focus on your self-care during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Your last card that Mother Moon wants to give to you through me is Mutable Moon. Nothing is yet set in stone. So, the High Priestess, and just a reminder that the High Priestess is Taurus energy. So if you have Taurus in your chart, that this energy will be amplified during this time. But this is also a card of the unknown, and following your intuition through your unknown. Do not let any fears that you may envision for yourself derail you from doing what you feel like you are being called to do, because nothing is yet set in stone. Do not let these visions bother you, and transmute them into positive visions and positive thoughts and feelings. during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, moving on to Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Jupiters. So Pisces, you are mutable, the feminine side of Jupiter, planet of wisdom, faith, and experiences and expansion. As well as you are going to be trining this energy because you are mutable water, being mutable and adaptable to your own and other people's ways of feeling the emotions. And Pisces is born out of the 12th house, is the subconscious, dreams and illusions, and your creativity and fantasies. Now, with that being said, you are trining this energy with Mercury in transit in the sign of Cancerian. So you're going to be able to have that gift to initiate new emotions when it comes to your thinking and communication with your mutable water energies. Now, let's shuffle this deck one more time and we will get to your section of the reading. Now, your first card that you get is the Temperance card. Alright, so this is saying that you are combining two or more two things together, you know, and maybe even spending a lot of time into whatever you're working on or whatever you're doing. You are combining energies together. This is Sagittarius energy, so if you have Sagittarius in your chart, that these energies will be amplified during this time. Your next card that you get for this Mercury and Cancerian transit is the Star card, Aquarius energy. So if you have Aquarius in your chart, these energies will be amplified during this time. Alright, so with that being said, you are focusing on healing yourself during this time from any past hardships that you might have had to endure in the past. Focus on healing yourself, focus on being optimistic about your future, and continue to work on yourself in that healing process. Remember that healing involves seeing what role you played in, as well as seeing how you manifested that situation in the first place. Now your last card that you get is the Ace of Cups. So, with the Ace of Cups, this is saying the new love. It has been born, you've given birth to this new love during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Alright? So there is some type of new love that you've given birth to during this time. I'm going to get a drink of water and we will continue. Now, let's clarify these cards by shuffling this Rider-Waite deck. And one more time. And you are having the ability to initiate new emotions when it comes to your mutable water by healing yourself and combining two things and giving birth to this new love. So, let's clarify these cards. And we'll move on to what Mother Moon wants to give to you through me. So, the Temperance card is clarified by the Hermit card. So, the Hermit card is talking about you going within and following your intuition and letting your intuition guide you in order to combine these two things that you are combining for yourself. This is Virgo energy, so if you have Virgo in your chart, these energies will be amplified during this time. So keep that in mind. But moving forward, you are following your guidance and what you feel called to do during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, with the Star card, the star card is clarified by the Nine of Cups. So you are focusing on healing by remaining in your emotional independence during this time of Mercury transition in the sign of Cancerian. Remain in this energy. This is a very attractive energy and a very happy energy as well. It can bring you a lot of happiness and abundance because it's one cup away from the Ten of Cups. Focusing on yourself and focus on the healing that you need to do during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now with the Ace of Cups gets clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. So with the Queen of Pentacles, this is talking about self-care and self-love. And you, with the Ace of Cups, this is the new love that you're giving forth. You're giving forth to self-care for yourself so you can nurture yourself and then nurture everybody around you that is supporting you along the way. Okay? So continue to do so. And remember, this is a 4-tarot card. So if you are not wanting to have kids during this time, keep them, just do your best to protect yourself during this time. Now, moving on to the Moonology Oracle deck. To end your reading off for this Mercury and Cancerian transit. Now, pull these 3 cards out and we will begin. With your, see what Mother Moon wants to tell you through me. Alright. Now, your first card that you get is Disseminating Moon. Take time to breathe out. So you need to take your own space, give yourself time, and take time to breathe out like the card says. Mother Moon wants to have you take the time to breathe out and just breathe. Okay? Because this will help you during the healing process. Alright? So, and especially during this time of Mercury transitioning in the sign of Cancerian. Now, your second card that Mother Moon wants to tell you through me is Balsamic Moon, a time for healing. So, this is a time for healing, a time for, which is just emphasizing the star card. Alright? Follow your intuition, follow your guidance on how to combine these two things that you are combining, and initiate the self-love for yourself by using this gift of initiating new emotions when it comes to your mutable waters. Okay? Especially during this time of Mercury transitioning Cancerian. Your last but not least final card from Mother Moon to you through me is Full Moon in Pisces. Balance spirituality and practicality. So, balance the way you handle yourself individually and use practicality while doing so. Alright? Don't be unpractical. Follow your intuition, follow your guidance, focus on healing, focus on self-care, and balance spirituality and practicality during this time of Mercury transitioning the sign of Cancerian. Now, that was all the signs plus the collective. I hope this helped everyone. I hope this aided you in any way and brought you into clarity that you may have needed. I will leave timestamps down below. And with that being said, I hope you all have a good flight during this Mercury and Cancerian transit. I will be back during the mid-season of Mercury being in Cancerian to give you more clarity and aid and help that you may need. And until next time, I wish you all well. Much love to the Soul Fam. Shout Dodo the Pilot Man out. Shout Shauna Rise out. Shout Anita's Flying High out. Shout Esoteric Cloud Surfer out. Shout Jabari Love, Polaris Moon, Missy Darko, Goddess Essence Energy, Dream Starwalker, 444777, Archangel Raphael, Xanos, everybody from the whole Soul family. Shout out all of y'all. If y'all don't know us, go check Dodo the Pilot Man out. And until next time, I wish you all well, much love, and peace.